might have to show up to court for libel and slander, as well as the FBI showing up to his door for death threats on the internet. You might have to show up.
So here's something about being all in, right? You guys gotta figure out like what game is being played here. Because politics is a game. And if it's a zero-sum game where you either win the election, lose the election, then I would say that the strategy and the obstacles are going to make that game very, very difficult. But if you can think outside of that zero-sum game and ask yourself, how can I win in this game that I'm playing, where I'm running for Congress, trying to bring attention to the fact that there's $37 trillion of national debt. There's $100 trillion of unfunded liability. If he can make a big enough splash, if he can be just crazy enough and dangerous enough and raise enough money to get the attention, what may happen is Democrats may start funding his campaign, because that would be the thing that would harm his Republican vote. And so there are different things that you can do strategy-wise that can make his voice more powerful and amplify it. And it doesn't, I think the mistake that people make is that, oh, if he loses the election, then the game is over and he's lost. I would say that if he runs, brings attention to the issue, and loses in an epic fashion, he actually wins. And then that sets up a new game where you have a whole new set of goals and objectives.
Right, what I'm saying is play plan A first, and don't have a plan B, right? Play plan A first. Okay, John, can you see yourself moving, walking in Congress as Congress? And can you honestly say that you see yourself there?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like this is destiny. My whole life has been leading up to this moment to run in this campaign.
Well, yeah,
That's a great answer. Please answer exactly that way anytime anybody has that.
no, but he didn't actually answer. He didn't actually
Practice that in there.
He answered like he was going to be there. I asked him, can he see himself there now?
The now is all important, and what I'm doing now is all important.
Yeah, you're already sitting at this. I think you're already
Mike, I didn't say that. I said, can you see yourself now, you as a congressman, right now in Congress?
100%, Tamar.
Tell me about it. Tell us about it.
And we're doing it right now. You're sliding into the muff.
Okay. This is what I'm hoping for. This is what let's say right. So I've been working on this, right? And all of a sudden now they're releasing the national something that 0.0111 or 0.0001. This happens, right? Because this happens for films like Scarface, Star Wars, right? It doesn't happen for films like The Last Dragon, right? Because usually it's stars and things like this. So how did I have that happen? It's not luck, my friend. We're creating anyway.
Well, what you're talking about is the brain doesn't distinguish between what some people have asserted, that the brain doesn't distinguish between when you imagine something and when you're actually doing it. So you want to embody that which you aspire to. So if you make a daily practice of doing that thing you aspire to, then you will embody it. That's his
Muhammad Ali, Babe Ruth, Conor McGregor. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I'm done with my earthy crunch.
Okay, let me tell you, gentlemen, a grok prompt I put in a couple hours ago.
Before you do, can we add Randy Macho Savage to that list? Thank you. Go ahead, John.
So we were talking about education in Anson's room. This is what I asked Grok earlier. Hey Grok, tell me how to decentralize education in America, how to best educate the population to create the greatest possible economic outcome and growth, while also eliminating the federal and state debts. List in 10 bullet points. This is what Grok says. Candidate Congressman John Kitover, here's a 10-point plan to decentralize U.S. education, optimize for economic growth, and eliminate debts. Number one, abolish the Department of Education. Devolve control to states and local governments and administrations. Number two, enact universal vouchers, ESAs for school choice. Number three, prioritize STEM, vocational training for job skills. Four, cut federal education spending and redirect to debt reduction. Now, next one, promote private micro schools and online platforms. Next one, align curricula with market needs to boost productivity. Next, implement the 5% VAT, limit tax deductions for revenue. Number 7, cap state Medicaid education budgets to balance finances. Number 9, foster local innovation for tailored, efficient learning. And 10, leverage skilled workforce growth to erase debt. So I ask you, people of Clownhouse, do you think AI will play a role into decision making of your future government and where your money's being spent?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And why is that? Why is that? Is that because AI is intelligent and is going to optimize the spend?
Well, like, you just used AI just now to ask it a question, so I think that, obviously everybody, but maybe broadly speaking, that doesn't help, so.
Oof, that's a tough one. You gotta have an answer for that. See, like Mo, I see John here, right? And I say, wait a minute. There's what, 25, 30 people here, right? You're what's his name? Lou and others, right? They have hundreds of people in them, right? Why isn't he? Why aren't you?
Hold on. To answer your question, we've already reached out to Lou. The interview is coming. We don't have a date or time set up, but Lou is very interested in reaching, in interviewing to his audience, John Kitover. And while we're at that, look, listen. Before we get in front of Lou's room and Lou's audience, why don't we take care of what's happening in this room with this audience?
I already asked you. He hasn't even asked me, sent me a message. He hasn't even said, but I don't want to get politics. I don't. But
time out. Maybe you're a spiritual advisor. Maybe you're involved in ways that you don't even understand.
Maybe you're right.
I would just say this is a good time to remind everybody. It's a good time to fork it over for John Kitover.
Speaking of house rules, Mojo, I don't know if I think one of them was spamming in the chat. I don't know if that's borderline spam or.
Not only is he spamming the chat, his English is like 3rd grade level. Like we should.
It's not broken English; it's shattered.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. English only, homie.
It's English GPT. What happens when you don't think?
It makes sense if you read it with an attitude.
It makes sense if you read it while hyperventilating.
John, to answer your question, I think AI is making its way into the political industry because it's a convenience. It's a part of the consumerism as to what made the buck, as to what funded everybody it's dangerous because sometimes they won't even remember. Like Biden couldn't even remember his own shit half the time. Trump couldn't. Nobody, none of these fucking other presidents or other politicians could remember half the shit they say until it's brought up to them. So I think even with AI, I just think it would make it more worse. I think it would make it more insane.
I agree. I also want to let everybody know that I posted on X. If you could follow me on X, it's John Kitover, Illinois. I wrote, candidate Congressman John Kitover is being accused of stolen ballot by clubhouse sociopaths who make death threats all day long. Please consider supporting the campaign to elect John Kitover. Additionally, I posted on my Instagram. I posted on my. Oh, that's okay. If they want to stir the pot, I'll stir the pot with them. We'll make a real sweet brew.
So when you say sociopath,
I mean people that come on Clubhouse and literally for 30 minutes straight scream death threats. Even though they know they're being recorded, you know who what their Instagram is. So if you go to John Kitover on Instagram, you can see a picture of my second lieutenant military ID, which is in this room as well. And in that post, I stated that I am going to file a lawsuit against Brad Staffelberger, the Irishman and sea pirate of Clown House who makes death threats and casts libel and slander all day long on Clown House.
Josh,
Maybe he's suffering.
John, I don't condone that behavior.
That's okay. I don't condone people coming on here and making death threats when they should be making shepherd's pie.
He's saying we're trolling back in the day. Don't lie. And those military patrol work.
I don't think John Kitover ever did wait for a 2-year-old to turn 18.
Listen, we're bringing drama now into this room that doesn't need to be.
I think it's the same room,
We're
actually.
also, we're not going to be toxic. We're going to follow our rules. There are rules.
I would just merely submit that this is actually the same room. This is the same room with 1,000 posts. So technically it's not a new room. Just to correct your rule interpretation.
Well, I was interrupted by John Kitover. I just want to say again, this sounds worse than fucking Jillism.
Oh, I agree.
What'd you say? It sounds worse than what? What'd you say?
It's Jillism. We're talking about death threats.
Hold on. Well, listen, some people make death threats. I don't want to make, I don't want to make this about doxing anybody. Let's get away from that. But to compare this to chillism, you'd have to start looking at like, what makes a chillism? Chillism room is 45 minutes of arguing about a book that nobody knew read. Chillism is a room where 45 minutes is spent talking about Hegel. And then when you ask either of the people involved, such as Congressman or Ike, and again, I'm violating rule number 9 here, but I apologize in advance. I'm a flawed human, so sometimes I break rules. But no, these guys, they argue about things that they've never read. They acknowledge that they've never read it. So that's the difference between chillism and here. At least we have people that read. We read out loud in here. This is how we know that chillism is different from this room, is because not only do people claim to read, they actually display that they can read, and they do it publicly. This is something chillism would never do. I challenge the people in chillism to do a book reading, and watch how many people move themselves to the audience.
I'm just saying I can't read, so I'm in the right place. We should read it. You guys will read the book to me.
I think we're about to read The Art of War in the Muff.
That's okay.
No way.
What, you know, the book to, read, You Are the Placebo. This one's You Are the Placebo.
Well, Dr. Fauci thought that we were the placebo.
My ex-girlfriend, just for saying, broke up back in the day. It's been a few years now. I was talking to her. She sometimes she sent me political commentary from places like CNBC. Now, I don't get into all that, but I can tell that's not. I told her these are not journalists. These are these are opinions. I want to tell you what she
Do you miss that muff?
She wrote me back, she goes, USA is not good for world. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. Whatever Brazilian accent. Yeah.
You know, Dolly wrote in the chat that these are dynamic conversations, and I would agree that these are dynamic conversations, while most clubhouse rooms are not dynamic and they're actually just echo chambers, unlike when you're inside the muff.
I agree. That's what I like about Mojo there is because he's willing to go down the muff with them and pointing out that they don't actually read the book and that they run out of the book.
Can someone explain to me what in the month actually means? What the hell does that even fucking mean?
So pretty much
It's how when you're older, mother. Listen to ChatGPT.
it's an Italian. Yeah, it means like you're a pussy eater pretty much. Like
No, hey. Nobody can explain in the muff to the gay people. I'm gonna add that as a rule. Listen, gay people are not allowed to know.
It won't even let me type the month in the chat.
The mouth. Nobody talks about the mouth.
Yeah, it's like Fight Club.
It censored me.
hey, there's no rule around that. Look at well, now you just made it. You made that, but there's no rule around it originally.
I may add a rule.
Okay.
I can add rules all the time. We've already been editing the rules.
So this is what AI says about in the month and what in the month means. So the phrase in the month can mean different things depending on the context. Number one, muff refers to a villain's attempt to catch or possess the ball, usually on a punt return. So in the month could refer to moments during a game when the ball is loose due to a muff catch, historical context, or fashion context. In a month is also a cylindrical uniform.
Hold on. Can you please go to Urban Dictionary instead and get a definition of
Let's see. I'll be right back.
and don't get the gay version.
No, watch The Sopranos. You'll figure it out.
I did not know there was a game.
Do you guys remember when we first created this house? We had Uncle June's picture as for the icon of the house.
I know.
Nobody ever covered.
Okay, so this is in the month, or this is the Urban Dictionary version. Month, as defined by Urban Dictionary, refers to female genitalia, specifically the vulva or pubic area. It is a slang term often considered vulgar and also used in dictionaries with similar meanings. Y'all are nasty. So we're in a woman's vagina in here? Is that what this room? Oh, I gotta go.
That's not nasty.
Listen, it's a beautiful place. You know what? As much as you might hate it now,
You can't handle the truth.
You came out of a woman's vagina. What? Like, you know, don't be so selfish.
Oh, this is gross. We're sitting with vagina juices in here.
Yeah, it's just an expression, who cares?
Pretty nice walk.
Wow, I will never look at this room the same again.
Well, we're just lucky to call it in the vulva. I knew from the beginning, for what it's worth. I mean, I think most of us did.
You know, I don't think anybody's ever told Scarlett what it means.
Oh, she know.
I don't know. I think she legitimately thought it meant earmuffs because she likes to put on earmuffs when people start talking to her.
I love that you had an epiphany today, Mother. I'm so grateful to have been part of this journey with you, that you learned today on Clubhouse
Well, I would just say if we cut Medicare Medicaid by $400 billion, I don't think it's going to impact many muffs of the OBGYN. That's just my opinion.
Well, that may be so. Mojo, I have a question for you. Have you thought about a theme song for In the Muff?
No, look, I don't think so.
I have a suggestion.
Well, okay, I'm open to suggestions. Go ahead.
All right, Ronnie D and James Dio, Holy Diver. I think that could be your theme song. Joe, it's Joe. Play it, Joe. Play it.
Oh, Joe, you want to dial that up for us?
I'm not good at that kind of thing.
Yeah, me either. I figured it out earlier. You know, I don't know, will you guys seem there when I was playing music really loud? Is anybody present for that? Can I be there? Tiffany?
I don't think so.
It was pretty fun.
What was the name of the song? What was the name of it?
I was there. It was great.
Holy Diver. Ronnie James Dio, or just Dio. Holy Diver, Dio, D-I-O. And he's a good Italian guy.
You're the star of the masquerade. No need to look so afraid. Yeah, it's a good song. Rocky Horseback.
He's clean.
That was pretty good. Whoever that was pretty good.
Is this it? Guys, is this it? I said holy God, but I have to say the artist. Maybe this is it. Tell me if
It's heavy metal.
But it just have an ominous beginning.
I don't remember the beginning. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Let's play a second.
Sam Mike, you're gonna ruin my.
We're in the month, guys.
You're gonna trigger my copyright warnings on YouTube, Tim.
So, how many seconds?
I usually try to turn it off immediately. 4 to 5 seconds, you're cooked. 15 seconds, they nuke your account, and your whole career is over.
Ruin the mockumentary, Taiwan. I have at least a year to prepare for the premiere, please.
See, John, don't fuck around, bro.
Time out, have you seen my YouTube account?
I'll get Brandon
Just want to hear some Ronnie James Dio trivia.
Sure. Does it have anything to do with Black Sabbath? Go ahead.
No, nothing to do with Black Sabbath. You know how Ronnie James Dio was famous for the devil horns? Where you
Yes.
got one of the devil horns? That actually is an Italian thing to ward off spells on you, curses, and it's called Maloik. And he started doing it, and everybody got his devil horns. And it's something that is just old Italian ritualistic thing. Let's call it Maloik.
But I'll get something better. When I was learning to drive the bus for the metropolis, I thought, okay, so when I was a student, they said, okay, we'll get me back and see if anybody's there, because we're taking it back to the garage and your lessons over with. I jumped up and looked at the back, and I just want to hear people laughing, and because I was like, are they laughing at me or what? Like that. And I kind of dedicated the probationary period to my deceased maternal aunt too. So I heard it a couple of more times after I graduated, and I Googled the symptoms that I heard, and they said that it was a black mirror, often found in Hispanic cultures, which they would look at it. I think it was the Aztecs or some one of the other ones. They would look in the black mirror to cheat and to be able to tell the future.
Who? The Mexicans did that? What are we talking about?
To look in the black mirror and to cheat so that they could look into the future, because when you're driving the bus, I use all the mirrors possible. And for some strange reason, I I looked up in the mirror and I just was like,
What's happening right now? What's happening?
no,
What's happening?
I think Ronnie's telling us that she's a sixth sense. She sees ghosts or something.
6, 7 to 8
She sees ghosts.
It's something in another culture. It's called the Black Mirror that tells into the future. That's because I was looking at the symptoms, like that. Because I swore I was.
Mojo, she's talking about one of the Aztec gods. What's his name?
Really?
Tex something? I don't know what the
You're sure she's not talking about like Illivotanica?
I wouldn't know. I didn't know. I kind of Googled it.
What god are you referring to? What's it called again?
I think she's talking about some Haitian shit. She's talking about Haitian shit.
It might be. It might be.
She's talking about some Haitian shit. We're gonna be sacrificing fucking animals in a minute.
Yeah,
The killing chicken.
I'm a little. So real quick, right? So the Aztec people in Mexico did have like a god that sounds very similar to that, right? That was a reference to like obsidian and dark mirrors and stuff. They didn't believe in that. They essentially they would have used a specific god, and he would show you use the mirror to look into the souls of people and to guess the future. Like that is actually a thing. I'm just trying to see if we're talking about the same. If we're talking about the same guy or we're talking about different people.
I don't know. I Googled some of the symptoms and it came up with what you said.
Bring them up. We're talking about Connie's experience with looking up research.
I moved Time Shark down to this.
Yes, but it's actually interesting because it's different. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was just alluding to it. Piggyback it off to someone else who's just supposed to be for me. And I put that out there because I wanted more feedback.
Your braids are too tight. Girl, loosen up them braids.
How many sections of music can I play? 5? I actually appreciate your contribution. I don't think most people knew about this god.
I know. I mean, once I played it off as I was hearing.
First of all, what you really
I thought I was hearing things.
I think we should really do a fun fact Thursday or like a trivia Thursday where everybody finds a fun fact and then we share it. I love shit like this. Like I think it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
All right, give me a fun fact about the gay Mexican community. Go ahead.
But I'm not Mexican. How would I know that?
I don't believe you, Mojo.
Don't be racist.
How many seconds of music can we play? Because I want you guys to hear this month song.
How about 5 seconds?
Alexa, play.
I swear to God, like, what the fuck is this? He doesn't like the Arabs, but he's going to speak Arabic as well.
And then some other shit. You know what I mean? Like they're,
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
No, explain. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Please.
Now that's it. That's
So the cat in a vacuum?
No, that's Holy Diver. That is Holy Diver.
Do you guys want to know fun facts for today?
Oh my god.
Okay, so which country has more pyramids?
Mexico.
Colombia? Guatemala.
No one ever guessed.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, thank you. I asked Brock the following, this is on X platforms. How much does the federal government, states, and local government spend annually on education, including pensions, breakdown by monthly budget? Also, tell me the best way to enhance education while cutting annual budgets by 50% to pay down the national and state debts. This is Greg's reply. U.S. federal government spending is $195 billion annually on education, FY 2025. States spend $400 billion annually. Local governments spend $400 billion annually, with $60 billion in teacher pensions, mostly state funded. Total at $1.1 trillion a year, or $88 billion a month. To enhance quality while cutting 50% slash administrative bureaucracy, it eats up 30 to 40% of budgets. Implement universal vouchers for competition. Integrate AI and online learning to reduce costs. Prioritize core
that said, are any educators have any response to John? Otherwise, we will go to Beth. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
I just, you know, may I ask, what do you look to do for fun?
How does it get to the other people? Do they like through
Yeah, that's right. So like you can become radioactive and start emitting that radiation yourself, and then you can quote unquote infect other people because radiation spreads because it's a chain reaction. It's a runaway chain reaction event.
Hey, Io, can you explain to them the way that you can do that brain wave with a microwave? You know the thing like in it's like Havana syndrome, but can you explain how you can do that? With a microwave?
Yeah, there's something like resonance phenomena with microwaves and proteins and DNA, despite what popular, conspiracy theorists online would tell you that, hey, it's 5G coronavirus. Well, actually, those radio waves that we have emitting have a non-zero probability of damaging you. In fact, if you have the wrong mutation, there's a Yale study that says, hey, you're 4 times more likely to develop a thyroid cancer. And Havana syndrome is basically 1975 amplified. 1975 in Moscow, the American embassy in Moscow was hit with directed microwave radiation, resulting in the first documented example of quote-unquote Havana syndrome, which is something similar to concussions being present in your brain without having experienced a concussion. So if they hit just the right kind of frequency, it can create just the right kind of disruption in your cells. Yeah. And so over time, the Russians cook you like like something in a microwave. And so it's hard to defend against this. Lots of, if you want to know what else it's called
Manchurian
microwave ablation. I think it's called microwave ablation. So it's using ultrasound, I believe, and microwaves to direct energy into tumors inside the body. So if they can destroy tumors inside the body using microwave ablation, then you bet your ass, the bigger you make the phenomena, the more damage you can do to more directed tissue, and you can focus it like a laser beam, half a mile, 2 feet, it really doesn't matter.
Don't fuck with the CIA, John.
To answer the original, another question though, like how does it spread? When the body dies, it begins to decay faster, and then when that happens, you know how you start to smell shit. Like when people have to open, like say a suicide victim, for example, they open the window before they kill themselves because they'll be all like, I don't want the smell to get out, but it gets out anyway. So that like a person with plutonium, right? That shit spreads. It would spread all like everywhere. So what they do, they place the people in air capsules, pressurized air capsules. That's where, then they bury them, and those capsules stay active like I don't know for how long exactly, but a pretty fucking long time.
Oh, see, I didn't know this. See, you bring good fun facts.
I try.
I got another one. You all want another one?
Well, first I have a question. What's the half-life of plutonium?
I heard when I read it lasts about a decade, I believe. It could go longer depending on what the material is of the plutonium. What I read up, I read up on a guy. His name was Brian Simmons, and he had gotten caught with radioactivity working at this nuclear facility. It was a nonprofit nuclear energy facility. And they were touching these radioactive plates, which had this black powder, and it fell out. And all they had were like rubber gloves and nylon jackets and goggles. That was it. They didn't have anything else, and they got contaminated.
So this is the other. Well, I'll leave more time for responses this time. But what is the fattest organ in the human body?
Skin.
That's the largest.
Did he say that?
The skin's the largest human organ.
It's fattest.
The fattest.
Oh, well, when I heard the fattest, I thought the largest.
Oh, no worries. You're still wrong, though. All right. The answer is, wait, do y'all want time to guess?
I guess the intestine, because if you're
no, you know what? Why don't you just ask a trivia question and then just blurt out the answer 10 seconds later? That'll be much more fun.
What's the expression of life in the body?
10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Any final guesses?
Go right ahead.
Okay, it's the human brain. The human brain is 60% fat.
I said the brain.
So I got a question.
You said the brain, Moose? Shit, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Mother, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's 831 times 1,000?
Why are you asking me dumb questions, Roger?
You only have to know that if you're running for Congress in the District of Illinois.
I can't believe people are actually giving this man money.
What do you mean? You don't like when people invest?
I think the statement speaks for itself. I am equally in awe.
I mean, I guess it's the same. People donate money to feel good. So I guess
Wait, hold on. I remember when a fucking guy that was a real estate tycoon and then a social media host of a show got involved in politics, and everybody said he didn't have a chance, and next thing you know, he's ran in 3 elections and he's won 2 of them. I mean, I don't know, man. Just give him a chance.
Hey, John, do you know James Snyder?
The guy that shoots people in the face?
I was just gonna say, have you ever ran into him in your career on your way to Congress?
Clubhouse, I've run into him on Clubhouse, and I think he's a patriotic American, and he shared some fun stories, and he has shared some great insight into his political endeavors and his interactions with his Republican GOP in his area. And so, I think you should honor all speakers on this app because everybody can play their little role.
I think what we should do is invite James Snyder and get that guy Myth back, because James Snyder has shot somebody and Myth has been shot. I think that would be a fun conversation.
So, any more fun facts today? Roger, can we do a trivia Thursday?
No, you asked that before, and I told you it's a bad idea.
Why is it a bad idea?
Because people have access to Google and they would cheat.
Oh shit, you're right. We did talk about this. I forgot. It's been a long day. I'm sorry. We'll talk about this early.
It's okay.
Random trivia, nobody used Google. Who's the highest ranking official at a homicide crime scene?
The FBI?
Sir, unless there is detective placed in jurisdiction. Chief detective.
This is just a local homicide, not federal or kidnapping involved. Guess again.
The lieutenant? The sergeant?
Last call.
Damn, I don't know.
Dexter Morgan. Coroner. The coroner is the highest rank. The body cannot be removed without the coroner's approval. Once the coroner arrives, the coroner is literally tell all the lieutenants, captains, if the chief was there, the coroner could tell them to leave.
But that's not necessarily what you asked. You said who's in charge of an investigation.
Well, it's highest ranking. No, I didn't say who's in charge. I said who's the highest ranking.
True, but it's still of the investigation.
Well, message sent off and not message received.
We need better fun facts. Much better. But actually, I didn't know that either, so I learned something new. So I guess that's good. I like learning things.
Do we have any FDR fans in the house? Anyone fan of FDR? No FDR fans.
Are you not a fan of him?
Well, are you?
Believe it or not, are you talking about Franklin Delano Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Actually, that is the cousin of mine.
Okay, well then let me ask you a question. Hold on. May I ask you a question? Since you're so familiar with him, what is your favorite of his Japanese internment camps?
Oh no, I only paid attention to the landmark to connect the dots. Hyde Cemetery, Hyde Park. I only paid attention to that. I didn't get into details about the type of games that he played.
What's that high pitched whistling noise that accompanies you, Connie, when you're speaking? Is that like a sound weapon in the background or
Oh,
something?
that is, the pipes. I'm in an apartment, that's the pipes.
Oh, really? You need heating
I
in the
got the door
summertime?
open to monitor it.
Is it New York? Come.
No, I'm sorry, it's Silver Spring.
Don't dox yourself. Don't dox
As
yourself.
your attorney, I urge you not to answer.
Yeah, don't dox yourself, Connie. As weird as you are, I will protect you.
Oh, God, Montgomery County's so huge, they'll never find me.
Well, they've narrowed it down.
So I,
But you know, you're right. You're right. But I mean, I've seen him in what do you call that? The waiting room. He's pretty cool. He doesn't have time to dox anybody.
The problem is the whole fucking room is listening.
Oh, that's true.
But I'm a public figure. It's already on my Instagram and Facebook. It's already there.
You're totally right. There's nobody that's listening other than the two people that were talking. Nobody on this app would ever have bad intentions and do something called doxing.
hey,
What I'm trying to explain to you, Marco, is
in fact, I should erase it as a rule because it never happens. Why even have a rule forbidding it?
okay, but the truth to that is the county is already listed on my Facebook.
All right, go ahead and dox
Instagram.
yourself. I'm going to
Instagram,
modify
and
this.
I'm a public figure.
Hold on. I am going to modify rule number 2 to say no doxing unless you want to dox yourself.
But she doesn't start trouble like Roger. Come on.
Oh my God, have you heard this woman?
Who starts trouble?
Connie.
Scarlett. Okay, who is the most problematic person in this space?
Wait,
on the stage right now?
Yes.
Ooh, boy, that's going to be a toss-up. I would definitely say the messiest person is Pockets, but...
Oh.
Yeah.
Not expecting you to say pocket.
Sounds like
But I'm curious on the time scale, because if you mean now or later.
Well, however you want to interpret it.
Hey, this is candidate Congressman John Kitover. I just want to read you a new Grok prompt I wrote. It says, I wrote, what are the top 10 budget items of the U.S. government and break down each into more detailed analyses. Determine the best way to optimize the federal spend to optimize the economy. This is what Grok writes back. Top 10 U.S. FY 2025 budget items in billions proposed. Number 1, Social Security, 1.5 or 1,543 billion or 1.5 trillion. Retirement disability benefits funded by payroll taxes, optimized by raising the retirement age and means testing. Number 2, other mandatory, 1 trillion for veterans income support, streamlined administration, reduce fraud. Number 3, net interest, 969 billion. Debt payments cut via deficit reduction. Number 4, Medicare, 936 billion. Senior health, negotiate drugs, promote preventative care like going to the gym. Number 5, non-defense discretionary, 995 billion. Education health, prioritize high ROI investments. 6, defense at 850 billion. Military, enhance efficiency, cut waste. Number 7, Medicaid at 587 billion. Low income health, focus on outcomes, reduce overutilization. Number 8, VA, 163 billion. Veteran care in the private sector. Number 9, HHS, 134 billion. Public health, invest in R&D for growth. Number 10, education, 82 billion. Schools aid, boost STEM for workforce. To optimize the economy, redirect to infrastructure, R&D, boost GDP by 1 to 2x return. Reform entitlements for sustainability, cut regulations, subsidize, promote high skill innovation, aiming for 2 to 3% annual growth while curbing deficits. I hope you enjoyed that information injection.
I think it's interesting that on all of them, they're, got their hand out for R&D. I wonder if that's a self-serving thing to have R&D for AI.
John, if you could just check your back channel, just have a suggestion for your minor improvement for your Grok and other tools. If you personalize it a little bit, given what you're trying to achieve, I think the custom instructions that I provided there, or if you choose to continue the conversation on your own, you can probably get better results going forward. So I'd highly recommend you check it out, my man.
Do you want to just give me like a 3 sentence summary real quick?
No, because you have to type it in, but I can give you an example of what it's saying. So, for example, the prompt started with, I want to draft custom instructions for candidate congressman designed to balance political messaging, discipline, policy depth, public relatability, and responsiveness. But we want him to win. Or, at the very least, make a splash, so enhance all of the following. And then I did kind of a draft of what I think. One of them, for example, core outputs. Candidate congressman custom instructions include number 1, lead with clear position, start every response with a direct, memorable statement of stance or intent. Number 2, confidence score. End with a 0 to 100% rating plus short rationale. Clarity plus concision. Keep responses tight, punchy, and free of jargon. Explain technical terms in plain language. So that set of custom instructions, I use a similar set, but mine is customized for a CEO of a biotech company that wants to disrupt shit and piss off a lot of people while helping a lot of people in medicine, right? So there's an example so you can kind of compare the two.
Plain language, Sean.
No, he's doing a great job so far. I'm actually quite impressed. So if you drop me a link or something, I'll even donate.
Wow.
The link was pinned above.
My bad. I'll track it down if it's in the chat, or you can just send it to me.
We'll get it pinned back up there.
Help me, help you. Repin it for God's sakes.
What's the link? What's the link that needs to be pinned?
It's in John's bio. I can't do it. I'm driving.
You can't
Wait,
actually. You can't put it. You can't copy it from my profile, which is the challenge.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, no, that's okay. I'll just take a screenshot. No, if that's the link, then I'll take a look. Thanks.
Let me see if I can put it in the chat. Okay, it's in the chat. You can copy and paste it from there.
John, what was Brad doing? What would you say?
I mean, I let everything go. I think everything is just for a day. I'm more than happy to stir the pot on the day that the pot is stirred, but the next day I like fresh food, so that's just me.
There you go.
John, why does pasta sauce taste better the second day?
I'm not sure why you think it tastes better the second day. Maybe it's just because leftover food, feels good.
Because all the seasonings have had time to settle and marinate.
Yes, I would say that they were able to mellish together and create a more composed sauce by letting it rest in the refrigerator overnight.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it. Well,
You can tell now he cooks. You can tell.
But your pasta should be made fresh.
Well, I will say the rule in this house of not bringing in other rooms' drama into this room is a great way to be in the now.
How long can we keep it that way?
Well, it depends on the discipline of following the rules. I think earlier we allowed some rules to get broken, and we just have to have more discipline about enforcing the rules.
So currently, is there a list of people that are not allowed on stage? Because
No, hon, not according to me. The only person that I moved down was Time Shark, because he's a time suck. But other than him, I don't have a list.
okay, so Rich is allowed. Okay.
Well, hold on. Has Rich been allowed? I thought he owed apologies, and he had to agree that he was going to abide by the rules. If he could do that, he can come in.
He was in here in your absence, and he told us that you had co-signed that.
I said that he needed to apologize to 2 people. One of those people might be you. The other person might be somebody else that is a doctor. And as long as those apologies are made, they don't even necessarily have to be accepted. I just want to see some goodwill. And then an agreement to follow the rules. I think agreeing to follow the rules will cover a lot of it. But I just want to see if we can get him to humble himself enough to offer an apology. Because that would be fun for me.
Yeah, my apology is spelled Benjamin, and I have a Cash App available or a donation to John Kitover's campaign?
Maybe no more than 2 or maybe 1 of these kind of characters on stage at this one.
Charlotte, you actually have a Cash App?
I do.
I didn't think they allowed white girls to have those.
So there you go, John, $20.
Well, thank you. Can
And if you're serious, then I'll actually support you much more. So just keep delivering, my man.
Thanks. It's definitely a Clown House team effort. Positive mojo vibration here has really pushed me and propelled me forward by crafting the environment, and I'm responding, and I will work hard, and I really appreciate the donation to the campaign.
Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for your continued service to one of the most important nations in the world. So thank you for picking such an important mission. I really appreciate it, even though I'm just a Canadian. So thank you again.
Going back to the pasta, how do you guys do it with the noodles? Do you let the noodles sit in with the sauce, or do you wait?
Marquis, hold on 1 second. FYI, you may need to check the rules on the donation page to make sure you didn't violate any rules. I don't know, it has something about
Well, if he is Canadian, you just have to return the funds to him.
Okay.
I'll start a super PAC then. Give me a few days.
Well, there's a residency card.
I was thinking about the PAC idea. I like the idea of the prosperity. I think that could have some legs, not just for this election.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you want an answer to the pasta operation?
Well, I mean, again, just like when you put the noodles in the sauce once they're al dente, or wait until the sauce is done. Because I don't think it's all watery.
Okay, then you want to take what you're doing is called unpicado, and it's a process for finishing your noodles. So what you do is you add your sauce, and
Wait, why do you call it sauce? Is it gravy?
no, that's a New Jersey, come on, annoying thing that they do there. No, it's not gravy.
I can run you on the Great Garden State.
Yeah, well, I'm in Maryland, I'm from New York, but no, I'm not from New Jersey. And anything on the Sopranos, the Italian related, I can place that. But anyway, manticare is a method for finishing your pasta. So you boil your pasta with salt only, never put olive oil in, and never rinse your pasta because you're rinsing off all of the stuff. What's the name for it? Starch. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Starch. The starch is what makes the sauce adhere to the pasta. So you take your pasta and then you get a saute pan out. You put some sauce in it, and at very high heat, you throw in the pasta. You stir it carefully, coat the pasta, then you eat. That's called finishing it manticare, and then you plate it. And that will make all of your pasta taste better if you use that method.
Okay, io sono mezzo italiano, parlo italiano.
You put in the oil just so the noodles don't stick, but...
No, never put oil on the pasta. Parlo italiano con un bambino di 2 anni.
Da dove vieni?
Rule number 11, English.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you. I broke a rule and I didn't realize it. Sorry, guys.
It's all set. We're not mansplaining something in Italy in Italian.
It's Biace.
Well, and to be fair, we are going to break the English only thing. European languages would be first and central.
Grazie molto.
Time out, speaking Italian, time out, you're fluent in Italian?
Okay.
I love it.
I've lost quite a bit, but the Italians couldn't tell by the accent. I kept the accent. Living in Italy, learning quick when you're a kid.
Use subtitles.
South of it. But living, when we came to the States, we were living in Trastevere, which is in Rome. It's close to Piazza Santa Maria. And yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I live in the big Christmas tree. Yeah, for you black folks in Rome, it's amazing to go outside of, especially the culture is amazing. And it expands your horizon. Anybody, black, white, anybody, the Americans should get the hell out of this country for at least a month.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll be out of the country next week.
Where you going to, Mo?
I'm going to Vancouver, BC.
You using your Cash App?
I don't understand the inference, but
Oh, Scarlett's Cash App. You be the Vancouver boy?
yeah, I love Vancouver. It's a very clean city. It's so clean, it actually starts changing your mind a little bit around spending money to keep the city. It's a better experience than the human shit on the sidewalk of San Francisco.
It's really that bad, huh? Mo?
It's legit human shit on the sidewalk in San Francisco, and Vancouver is pretty clean. Although there is about a 6-block radius over this area called the 80 States. It's pretty disgusting. But they keep all the riffraff in one little area, so you gotta appreciate that.
And you know what? In the early 90s, when I went to New York and I was on my way back home, and the first major town I hit was Bowie, which if Bowie isn't right, like for snow removal, and everybody has to stay in the house. And I was like, thank God, green grass, artificial green grass has got sidewalks. New York City, a lot of the boroughs don't even have sidewalks. I mean, to step from the gravel to the sidewalk is literally nothing.
Yeah, I want to complain about the sidewalks too in Chicago. They got these bike lanes everywhere, and they got these stupid little curbs that come out and cause a fucking traffic jam.
I just want to say this just for austerity, because you might be recording and so on. As Mojo said, just send me the refund and I'll send the donation through my American corporation. No problem. I think that'll be fine. Unless there's another problem there. Just want to say that he was so charismatic, I should have been more careful with the reading. So my apologies, but thank you, Mojo, for being on top of that.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll log in shortly and I'll hit the refund for it.
One reason why they got a lot of backlinks is because U.S. Department of Interior implemented it and paid for it. And you'll see backlinks even alongside highways and Woodrow Wilson Bridge. You know, they even have a bike lane on it. So that's why they have it. Because I remember I did a temp assignment there. So I was just going over to see how many bike lanes have been completed and how many bike lanes I have already seen, you know, in the Washington D.C. area. But yeah, it's been implemented, so it's kind of like mandatory. But if you do not in D.C., if you do like rideshare, you better have a camera because those bikers are just atrocious. They're terrible.
Well, these bike lanes have taken up a lot of parking. They're eliminating 40% of the parking in all these businesses that they're already charging for the parking. I mean, it's this Green New Deal is a waste. It's a waste of money. You can't snowplow the bike lanes in the winter, so they just sit there full of snow. It's, you know, these people that run cities, they do not know how to optimize or efficiently run cities.
Money's right about the sidewalks being a factor. Memphis is number one. I was surprised when I read this. Memphis, Tennessee ranks number one
Yeah, well, you know what there out. You know what else there isn't? There's no more money in the treasury. There's $37 trillion in debt. Those are receipts, but other than that, there's nothing there. Other than that. Does anyone think the gold is actually in Fort Knox? Is there any gold in Fort Knox?
Yeah, I think there's actually more gold than they report because all those governments that you overthrew in the Middle East, they are reporting their gold missing. So I suspect it's actually much more problematic than anyone wants to audit. So, but that's my suspicion.
Yeah, there's that famous photo of Tom Cotton in the truckload full of gold from Sodom.
Yeah, we three kings be stealing the gold.
So in Clown House summation, we have learned that every day is like every other day, just a repeat of the other day. Welcome to Clown House.
It's not every day, not without mentioning names, where someone might be considering seeking legal and/or law enforcement assistance and holding someone accountable for saying dangerous things.
Well, I believe that it's a roast, and tomorrow the roast will continue. I have no doubt that today's show will be tomorrow's show, and yesterday's show will be tomorrow's show. It is the same pattern every single day, and the only way, in my opinion, to break that pattern is to read what's called a book, which is a forced dialectic or an external hard drive injected into a social audio chat app instead of never ending heated conversations and road raging. It's called a book. Maybe we should try it again in the month.
This is a good book by Dispenza. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. If you check my PTR right now, I just refresh my image. It's writing is thinking. And too many people are doing something like cognitive offloading into the AIs. Even early studies now with like doctors who are and I can't even say the word. Several doctors' studies show that if they do enough cognitive offloading, they actually become worse at diagnostics. So this idea of letting the AI think for you, that's like saying, hey, I'm not going to lift weights. The robot will lift weights for me. Well, then how are you going to get healthy, right? So might be something to add to your arsenal there, John. This article here says, kind of outlines some of the big problems. And you're always the one mentioning this, that people don't do enough thinking. And I feel guilty because I've been introducing these tools to people. And as you know, in chillism, there's several people who refuse to think for themselves. They're like, no, I'm just going to let the machine do all the thinking. So it's quite the tragedy.
Have you ever encouraged the people over in that room to read a book?
I've tried. I've tried to encourage, for one of the people, Lion, I've been talking to him about a single paper for 2 years. And it's a paper about evolution, about molecules, how life started from inorganic molecules. And has never, I suspect he's never even clicked on the link.
I suspect he's never opened the paper. He hasn't even done an AI overview. So that's the kind of friction that I'm up against in that room.
I think you do represent an interesting dynamic, though. It's like you got the smartest guy on the app, which you'll probably reject that title of, in the stupidest room on the app, and so it's a very weird dynamic.
It is actually, but I go there for the tongue twisters because I have to do speech therapy, and now that I work in a hospital with my technology, I have to like tell doctors big words and stuff, and so whenever I mention anything in that room, it always falls on deaf ears because I'm saying something technical and perhaps tangent to what's being discussed, and most people don't appreciate it, but I'm there for a very selfish reason, although I do try to make what I say valuable to people. That's the kind of the nature of my attendance in that room. And John always gives me shit for it, rightfully. So it is sometimes like Clown House in there. Very, very, like, I think there should be an app called Clown House made by John, and that could be itself a political movement.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Clown House.
It's not a good idea because you're already on Clown House, so it's already happened right now.
5 seconds of music. 5 seconds here, guys.
Hold on a second. I want to ask Io a question. Io, if you were to play a real-world version of Oregon Trail, but let's say you're just boldly going to some new place, and you had to fill your proverbial wagon with 4 people from Chillism to help you survive some mission where there's going to be unknown threats. Who's the 4 people you pick from Chillism to help you survive?
Oh shit, Chillism? Okay, so Lion's wife is a nurse, so I'd probably take a nurse. There's some medical professionals, so Lady Lion, the better half of the two. That would probably be one. And the 3 other idly vacant. I don't know, but that's like I'll have to think about the other 3. So give me a few minutes.
Just the 3 fattest people, so you'd have people you could eat as they die along the trip.
Oh shit, okay, I didn't know it was that kind of trip. But that's a good point. I forgot that the Oregon Trail was treacherous. Donner Party.
Yeah, I've only been in Chillism a couple of times, but it's sort of like a room of self-loathing, masochistic misanthropes, and I don't enjoy it.
On a good day, it's a circus.
We have no shortage of weirdos over here, though, if we're being honest.
Hey, Jill, I got a sandwich I make that you love, but you have to like lox. You like lox?
I love lox.
Okay, so listen. Whole Foods makes a package of croissants. There's 4 in a pack. You get the croissant, you put it in the oven just to warm it up. You put olive oil in the pan, and you get those thin slices of lox. You don't cook heavy, light, and grape tomatoes, cut them up, or any tomatoes. Just enough for a sandwich, and you let it sit in there in the olive oil. Then you move it over because you're not frying these lox, you're just warming them up. And you take a couple of eggs, maybe 1, 2, maybe 2, 3, depends on how much you want. And you put oregano, maybe some Italian seasoning, some pepper, whatever else you want. That's the basic. And then you take that croissant out, cut it open. If you like, put some Philadelphia cream cheese. There goes the most delicious sandwich.
You know what? I like the composition. I will try that out. That sounds very good.
That's right. For the Mama Luke's in the house.
Tenick, have you ever had a culatella di Zebolo?
Yeah, time out. You know, when I was a kid, I remember I was fanatic about gnocchi, but no, I don't think I had that.
Culatello is very much like prosciutto, and culatello means little ass in Italian, and it's from a portion of the pig that's very small. That's why they call it little ass, and it is the most buttery, delicious Maria that you could ever have. If you like prosciutto and you have this, you'll never want to go back to eating prosciutto. Although it does cost like 40, $50 a pound, it's delicious. If you could find culatello, di Isabello, you should try it.
Put it in the chat for the folks.
I'll find a link and I'll put it in there.
Yeah, and then anybody go to Italy, go to South Italy, and you have like buttery mozzarella, buffalo mozzarella. And most, if you like the sisters, Italian food, they like Italian food.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, Mojo. You like them sisters, right?
You know, I used to. There's a white girl on this app that is just she's so cute.
Where you don't have to give away, but what part of America or what area? Does she live?
I would never say.
Well,
Wise man.
shooting your shot is good.
I put the link in there for you guys. Culatello.
Yeah, Joe's for real. You can tell. He's for real.
I don't know, man. He still calls it sauce and not gravy. Like, I mean, I know some people that have a problem with that. They're all TV characters, but they have a problem with that. Joe, you ever
Uncle Junior would definitely have a problem with that.
Joe, you ever bought a pound of gabagool?
You mean gabagola? Yeah, I have. And gabagool is a stupid thing to say when you can say gabagola. And I wasn't calling you stupid. I was calling gabagool stupid.
Tell him, teach Mojo how to say it the right way then. Say it the right way, Joe.
Is it mozzarella?
Mozzarella.
Forget about.
So Mojo, for this weekend, I'm not sure I want to download Chatter again. I guess I can try on a burner phone, but they deleted my account, John Kitover. So there's still a lasting sting to have that account deleted. But I would love to transition, pivot, clone, and redistribute the Mojo experience across multiple platforms.
Yeah, let's make that happen. I wanna see if we can kick up a buzz across these different platforms. I'd really like to stir up a fan base if we could. All 12 people that might show up, but that'd be fun. I'll actually reach out to Isaac Hayes and say, hey, would you be interested in participating in a room where someone running for Congress in Illinois is going to be there? He would probably love that.
I'm pretty sure he knows my name, knows my face, and but I would love that as well. And X, I think, is the biggest place where we can have the most fun because that's where the most insane anti-Semite, Jew-hating, racist scumbags live by the thousands.
Well, you know what's going to be great about that is that the challenge is I nuked my fucking old account. It was becoming like I was spending. You think I spend time on here? I could spend time on here and multitask, but I was doing this thing over there where like I wanted to be the first to comment, so I could really pay attention to it, and it was too much. I had to fucking delete it. But there's some people on there that if we reconnect with them, they do the very kind of spaces that would be good. Of all people, Stephen Bader would be good to connect with over there. Plug you into a community of people that want to reduce the debt, or at least save it.
Well, you need to create a Mojo experience account. And I have many, 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 many X accounts with many, many followers. So any content you create, I can retweet and vice versa. But we can rapidly grow your account to where we should be able to get seen in the open X spaces.
I like it.
I have a Discord, but I don't use it much. Is there anything happening there for something like this?
Discord is where the planning for these types of rooms take place, and it's a very toxic environment for most people. Be careful on Discord.
Yeah, I just go for a writing. It's a writing workshop that we do there. That's it. I don't jump around. I don't even know how to use it really.
Yeah, Pepe likes to say he came out of the most racist rooms of Discord, and he was a neo Nazi at the time. And his brother also has the stormtroopers insignia. So, every time Pepe gives a little lecture, just know that you may be communicating with somebody who you could consider an extremist.
Yeah, so he has a brother too, huh?
That was funny.
Like a twin Pepe, like a Pepe. Say it isn't so.
I call him Dr. Peepee.
Pepe Pew.
Pepe and Le Pew.
Pepe Pew.
Mojo said once, he's like, John has all these recordings of Clubhouse users. If one of them does something awful, or, it's like you got all this, digital signature communication. And I don't think anybody.
You got your own Epstein list. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've created my own little hive of intelligence, but really, it's not me. It's just Clownhouse. I'm just hitting live stream.
Well, most people, there are some people who technically can record all the streams at once. So, unfortunately, for whatever reason, Clubhouse leaves that door open to this day. So, you could, in essence, just be streaming all the rooms and ripping them all.
I agree, but since
you have to be in the room.
Since I'm running for Congress, I would like to set up more recording studios in my house to record even more Clubhouse. But the truth is, that's not what's going to win this campaign. And creating more targeted content, and I think using AI and Grok to create targeted content to read and then deploy, will go a long way. I mean, if we can give.
Well, if you want some help, I'm down to help you pro bono. If you want some technical support, I got you.
So, here's something that would be cool, is utilizing AI to go through all of the hours of content that he streamed, looking for particular either voice signatures where you're looking for the best of something, or just looking for a particular topic. Is that something that you would be able to help out with?
Easy peasy. Yeah, that's easy peasy.
That's easy peasy, okay. Huh?
Yeah, if you got the recordings, it's a matter of just processing them, and then it's just a matter of tokens. One thing that you could do is make a specific section in your political campaign for funding AI tools. That would actually probably be the most transparent an open way of addressing this. You're like, look, here, I need money for AI tools so I can give you the best bang for your buck, right? And then you could probably even apply for a growth to
This
get
is what I get
unlimited
with
access
ACN.
as a senator or a senator candidate or Congress candidate, which is what Grok and ChatGPT offer to government workers, federal workers. So there's probably like an email that you could write to get kind of like, $100,000 in monthly tokens, which is what they give to startups. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility to just get $100,000 each from like NVIDIA, ChatGPT, Google. Each of these companies can do that for you. So and there's probably many creative ways of doing that, but it would just be a matter of getting those kind of processing. So I think for like an hour processing audio, Roger, it's about $8. So depending on how much the aspiring congressman has hours, you can just roughly calculate what you need. And the costs are always going down, so there's probably many ways of reducing that as well. But if John can give me like an estimate of how many hours he has, I can probably give you an estimate of how much it would cost.
So many possibilities. I like it.
That was actually one of the smarter things I've ever heard on Clubhouse.
You are sliding deeper into the muff.
Joe, I've told you this many, many times, and I have probably only heard it half a dozen times now, but I believe that he's the smartest person on all of things. So,
Well, yeah, but the idea of running a campaign using AI, expertise, and taking and creating a small language model using RAG to narrow what GPT will give you, and if you feed it with the right information of the same kinds of people that have campaigned and written about debt reduction and improving the economy and having better government, that would be very smart, because most politicians are fucking lazy. And if you had that and you started building your campaign platform based on real data of some really fucking smart people that are in agreement with what you want to do, that could make you unstoppable. And the way you talk about your campaign would improve greatly.
speaking of making you unstoppable, John, let's hear your rehearsed answer for Mr. Kitover. There's been some talk of concern from the public of you recording those on an app without their knowledge and consent. What say you to their privacy?
Yeah, privacy is a very important issue, and maintaining online anonymity, I would consider it almost a right, but many people are incapable of maintaining that anonymity because it's not easy to do. The Digital, Surveillance Act tied to the NDAA, which is $1 trillion a year, with their NSA facility in Utah, everything is recorded. Everything is put into these massive data storage centers to mine for future crime, potential terrorists to look back and do research on crime or terrorism, hopefully. So I would just say that, if you have a complaint about me recording people on Clown House using vulgarity, racism, hate speech nonstop, well, I would just say the government's already doing it. So I'm just doing a duplicate or a duplication, and I don't cost anything. But the government is charging you $1 trillion a year to do this type of operation through the NDAA. So don't complain to me running for Congress. Go complain to your current congressperson or senator.
Yeah, the name of the program is Echelon. It's intercept everything in
There
the
you
air.
go.
So there is no privacy. Signals intelligence means anything you transmit, they intercept and record and decrypt later, and they have all of the encryption keys. That's why they call themselves the equation group, and then the opposing group is exactly, but it gives them some false sense of security. It's silly. It's completely silly. I don't know what they're thinking.
I mean, people want to be titillated, and part of this ridiculous game is anonymity. But then you develop friendships and relationships with people off of this app. And, I just don't like to hang out with people who spend their day, doing homicidal ideation and making death threats for 30 minutes straight on this app. I don't know, that's just me. Those are the kinds of people I don't like hanging out with.
Well, it's I think that person works in children's hospital of all places. That's scary, Miles. Very scary. Well, without doxing, what we're talking about, that's kind of what John is dealing with. So.
Rohan was not a fan of my recording activities on this app, and it gets him very triggered when we discuss or interact. And I would just say, I've been to Australia. I studied at Bond University in Queensland, in the Gold Coast. I love Australia, and I love the Australian people. You guys got the greatest party island on the whole planet. You lucky dog, you dingo.
I'll buy John. I have a problem with anybody who chooses to be able to record another person without their consent and then taking it further to be able to want to try and commercialize on another person's asset, which is their vehicles. I think it's pretty despicable. I think it's pretty low life. I think it's disturbing. It's one thing to be able to sign up to a service in itself, where you actually are aware and you have consent, you've given consent, but people are coming into rooms and sharing information about themselves, not aware that you or other people, for that matter, are recording and also live streaming. By the way, I don't give you consent ever to be able to utilize my voice on any of your streams, FYI. You put a restriction when you like that on how people choose to be able to engage in rooms that you're involved with. So that restriction is on. You essentially hamper the connection. I know that you can enjoy these out, and that's all well and good. Great for you. And I know that Clubhouse is recording this, and that's what I've given consent towards. But I never gave you or anybody else the consent to be able to stream my voice, my thoughts and ideas for you to be able to commercialize on. And for that matter, I find it really disturbing that a person is really attempting to become a congressman, knowing that it is actually breaking the terms of service and being disrespectful towards other people. I think it's disturbing. You think that the title of this room covers that whole idea of people not knowing that they're being streamed? In the title of the room, it says that it's being recorded. Yes, no. There's a functional facility that's on the app itself, which can show whether a room's being recorded or not. The feature and function of that is not actually being displayed as being recorded, and the replays are off. But yeah, sure. I mean, somebody could be recording to say it's not actually being streamed. I it said streaming live to YouTube. Do you think that would be a good display? Look, I think we've discussed this point to the nth degree, to the point where it's almost dead in news. But I appreciate that there are certain types of rooms where individuals are conducting themselves in really salacious manners. I'll mention his name because his rooms are literally 24/7 filled with hate, vitriol, discussions of terrorism and all that sort of stuff, and just outright racism and anti-Semitism. It all literally every day. So I think it's actually great that whoever chooses to stream that's out
More
there.
baby.
And what the fuck?
I didn't go eight more baby.
It's disturbing that any individual, right, chooses to be able to expend so much time recording and live streaming with 50 plus mobile phones.
Dingo ate more baby.
Money towards
A dingo ate more baby.
government who does this.
A
It's like,
dingo
it's
ate
just
more
way too retarded.
baby. A dingo ate more baby. You know, I appreciate the criticism. I think it's maybe warranted, and I think you're a great critic. But I was working on a song while you were criticizing me, and it goes a little something like this. A dingo ate more baby. A dingo ate more baby.
Not the laugh. You were doing so good. You needed to release one more.
I'm sorry. I just gotta tell you, like, you're a drama queen, and anything I recorded. If you think that something I recorded of you caused you a problem, why don't you just speak up and say what it was?
It's really simple. I'm telling you, I do not consent whatsoever to my voice recorded or streamed by you or anybody else. Simple. If you break my request, then there may be consequences. And other people might have consequences for you if they choose to be able to say exactly the same thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's duly noted. I'll put it in the complaint box. I mean, Clubhouse is not a complaint box depository. Nothing gets stored here. Like, your complaints aren't in some kind of ticketing queue or something with some kind of locator code. I mean, I hear you, and I apologize, but, I'll make my atonement on Yom Kippur, when I pray to Hashem Rabbanu Shalom, and I'll ask for forgiveness from Hashem, not from you. Not yet. It's not Yom Kippur yet. I haven't come to you yet to ask for your forgiveness. So just be patient, okay? It's coming, Rohan.
I'm nothing short of 2 words of backdrop. Communication. Soon.
Well, I'll be looking for you on Yom Kippur. You'll be one of the first people I come try to find on Yom Kippur, okay?
John, I'll tell you what, too. Okay. Some people find you funny. I find that you're a joke. Nothing personal, because.
No, I get it, but it takes a comedian to know a comedian, so you must have a great sense of humor. Thank you very little. Oh my god. Oh my god.
What would you say that what John's doing is similar to that somebody photographing you? Something like that. Without you. It's about, a person taking a photo of you, putting up on a website, without your knowledge. Sure. And look, I mean, that's legally legal, right, to be able to do. Not as far as I'm aware. Well, in some countries and states, I'm sure that it's not as well, but yeah, it's just an invasion of privacy. It's a lowly tongue thing to do, really. Yeah, it kind of rubs me the wrong way, but I'm not worried about it. It kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Right, do you feel that maybe if people knew, let me ask you a question, if people knew and were aware that what they were saying was being broadcast potentially out to other people and recorded such that people could actually record it, review it and listen over and watch it over and over again, do you think that would inhibit people from speaking freely? Or do you think it would add to them actually being themselves? Right, okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it would inhibit people or not, because this room's been live streamed today, and we've had people come in here
music though.
they violate the copyright. And that could be a problem. Could be action by people that you might be recording and streaming on YouTube, and then you're making money from it. It could be a problem.
That's an additional issue. What I was talking about, how it may actually impinge a person's experience on here. If they actually knew that they were being recorded, a lot of people don't come up on
He's a
stage
clubhouse
like
purist, this guy, bro. You're such a clubhouse purist. It's so
Are you feeling triggered?
so profound, so professional. What a purist this guy. Doesn't want to impinge people's experiences.
Okay, you do it again, I will remove you. I have no hesitation to remove you.
What a purist! This guy is such a purist.
I get it, and that's awesome. You're funny in many different ways, but try not to be upset yourself just for like a couple of minutes.
I'm holding on to the center. I'm holding on to the center.
Okay, and impinge upon other people's freedom of being able to speak. And this is effectively what it does.
Such a clubhouse
That's
purist.
just my opinion. You do it with whatever you like.
What an
But Joe, you bring up a really interesting
incredible
point.
purist.
Well,
There's a legal issue.
let me
There's a
add
legal issue. And there's also the issue of people feeling inhibited about coming up on stage and talking, knowing that their thoughts, their ideas and feelings and their voice are being recorded and streamed and then captured on YouTube and other platforms.
He ain't doing it
And this is a big issue. It impinges upon other people.
Yeah, well,
He also put them in any way he wants. That's the problem.
yeah, I don't, you bring in an excellent point of, Ron. It's the expectation of privacy, and people should have no expectation of privacy on Clubhouse. Commercialization.
Joe, hang on. There's a point. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. There is a level. Okay, there's a range that we can look at.
These Australians are fucking crazy.
Blanket statement. Once you have to come on here and expect to be able to have that privacy, total privacy, that would be ridiculous because you've already set terms and conditions for people to know that. But it's not a binary issue. Do we agree on that?
I agree that it's problematic, and I don't endorse what John's doing, and I'm not making any excuses for it. I find it a little bit weird.
You think you can rub voters the wrong way in his area?
Yeah, I do.
Most voters are on Clubhouse. Most of them are not. It's only a tiny percent.
But his competitors that he's running for office against, and that cabal may use that as a web issue that is standards.
Joe, here's the thing, right? In order for his competitors to use that, his competitors would have to feel threatened by him. And for his competitors to feel threatened by him, he'd have to be a threat. And so, I'll just say this. If his competitors start saying anything about what's happening on Clubhouse, I'm going to be shocked, excited, and I'm going to think that it's the best thing that could possibly happen in his campaign.
Winning again. We go from losing to winning. From losing to winning.
Are the people that are in this room. And so if his competitors decide to make a big deal of it, they'll basically say, hey, this guy exists. And then voters will have to contend with how they feel about it. Because once they know he exists, he's got an opportunity to convert them.
That's not a bad argument. If I was advising LaHood, I would ignore John until he actually has a chance of beating him. So I would ignore it, and I would hold that in my back pocket.
Well, that's why it takes political activists like you organizing on Clownhouse to irritate LaHood into getting him to comment about the campaign to elect Congressman candidate John Kitover on X. Follow me on X at John Kitover IL, that's Illinois. Or click the link above. Give $100 right now and let's change the situation now.
Yeah, listen, here's something. If you think that voters would find this offensive, that what he's doing, go get links to all of the fucking content that he has, specifically about advertising that he's running for Congress, and send that to LaHood as well as the Democrat candidates and say, look at this character. You guys should do something about this. I would feel that that would be the biggest contribution that you could do to the John Kitover campaign. The second best thing that you could do is you could fork it over for John Kitover.
Just real quick, I want to be open-minded for a second. John, I want to hear out what your policy platform is, or what
Sure.
your
Let me
goals are.
ask you first, though. How do you keep an open mind?
Being willing to hear out the ideas without immediately throwing them out.
So, hearing the ideas without immediately throwing them out. That's how you keep an open mind?
Yeah.
Okay, well, please proceed, XG.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with some basics because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'll make that clear. So, one, what are you running for exactly? Two, why are you running for it? And three, what are some things, basic things in a summary you seek to achieve while you're running for it?
That's an awful lot of questions right now at 11 p.m. at night. And I've been battling Brad all day long on Stolen Valor. So go to Instagram.com/John Kitover. Subscribe to me on Instagram, and we will set up a private call, XG. But please follow me on Instagram now. Thank you. I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes.
John, that sounds like a dodge.
That was a dodge.
And then he runs away. He's running away, Mojo. He's running away. He's running away. And Mojo, when you started your room, you didn't have the recording on. You kept it on because you just knew it was me.
Yep. And I was one of the biggest vocal critics of John Kitover. He can vouch for that. Others that have been in these rooms can vouch for that. And the game changed. And this is the thing that I think people need to recognize, is that if we were having this conversation 3 months ago, we would absolutely have a strong point that, like, hey, we're in a room with no replays. This seems like a trashy move, and we're going to use all the tools that we have at our disposal. If we identify you, we're going to remove you from the room, yada, yada, yada. But even back then, if you think about it, he could have been recording those rooms without us knowing it, and then instead of doing a live stream, he could have put it up the next day. And the only reason we knew that it was live streamed is because we were getting a real live feedback loop. And so he could have modified his approach, and it would have been recorded and distributed, and nobody would have known. He's been very, very open about the fact that, yes, he's going to enter the room, he's going to stream the room. And I was the biggest target of this. Nobody on this app, in fact, I would say all of the other people on this app combined don't add up to the targeting, the specific intentional targeting. The only other person that I think even begins to compete would be Adrian Ditton. And I think that's, it's me, it's Adrian Ditton, and then it's the field, right? But we were the top two for sure that were being targeted. When Paul and Rowan decided to change this system where you could pay to remain anonymous, allowing people to record or to live stream without the creator of the room to be able to remove the person, they were essentially saying that we want you to do this, but we're gonna get you to pay to do it. And so they charge people for the anonymous feature. Now I think that if you have a complaint about that, I wouldn't take that complaint to John. I would take that complaint to Paul and to Rohan. I think those are the people that you would want to complain about it to. But think about what you're complaining about. You're going to tell them, hey, you know that feature that you now have a few people paying $5 a month for? I think you should not offer that. And they're going to say, go pound sand. We're making, even though we're not getting rich, we're making a few bucks on it. They made that decision because they would like for somebody to stream it to a different platform, a more popular platform, in the hopes that it would bring more traffic to this app. They made that decision. When that happened, my mindset had to shift. Why? Because I live in a world where there are things that I can't control. That is one of the things that I can't control. So in this universe of things that I can and cannot control, I'm going to worry about the things that I can control. I'm going to not worry about the things that I can't control. And so, in knowing I can't control it, I have to then say, well, what exactly is he doing? Let me understand it better. Maybe we can find a way where it's mutually beneficial. And that's what I've done. And by the way, the thing that won me over more than anything was the fact that forget about the dumb shit we talk about. I mean, yes, you get a crash out here or there that I've never gone back to listen to a replay of my bullshit ever in my life have I done that. What I have gone and listened to are the things that are happening in Amir's room. And what's amazing about this is we live stream terror plots and sexual trafficking that happens live on the Clubhouse app. I would argue that because Clubhouse records these rooms, they also know that terror plots and sex trafficking is happening in Amir's room, and they're allowing that to happen. I think they want it to happen. I think law enforcement agents love that it's happening. They're capturing so much evidence for people that are committing crimes. I mean, look, today we have people making threats. In other rooms, you have legitimate threats of terrorism, recruiting terrorists. The sex trafficking thing was beyond the pale. All of these things, super terrible. And John, who we once viewed as a villain, he's turned things around. I would say he's the Dark Knight. And until people, contend with this realistically, I don't know, what else you want to be said. He's the one guy that may lead to an arrest of terrorists on Clubhouse. There's nobody on this app that's done more, in my opinion, to combat terrorism on this app.
Yeah. He's a Dark Knight. Yeah. Okay.
I would say this, Mojo, that
I wouldn't say he's a Dark Knight. I'd say he's Doom.
I would say this, Mojo, that hypothetical that John recorded Amir's room, submitted it to law enforcement, and they took enforcement action. That would be a good thing. At the same time, I could also see Amir taking civil action against John Kitover for surreptitiously recording the room, and he could win his civil case and still go to jail.
I mean, I don't really see dealing with quote-unquote terrorism on Clubhouse, at least does, especially when Twitter still exists and you have rampant neo-Nazis on that platform 24/7 openly spewing bullshit, but nothing ever happens to them. So, I mean, I don't understand what Clubhouse has to deal with it, especially when we have even bigger platforms that have even more crazy shit on there that's allowed.
No, I agree.
He's streaming. He can stream those as well.
I agree. I've streamed a lot of these JQ radio rooms, which are Jewish question radio rooms, where they sit there and, I mean, to me, it's shocking, but I guess on the internet, I think people's brains are, wondering how they can create the most insane, psychotic, scary stuff you've ever heard. And, X is full of it. Clown House, I think it's a small enough community where people can identify the road ragers. But even the road ragers don't do what they do on X. X is a different level of like insane, psychotic, like just really annoying people who can't have conversations and they are extremely obnoxious and petty and childish like. So it's annoying to listen, annoying to interact, but I love roasting them and going in there and just yelling at a bunch of these people, and then they see that I'm running for Congress or they think I'm a congressman. It creates a pot stir and shakes the hornet's nest. So I don't know if it has any value, because most people aren't going to pick up a book and there's no real education happening. It's like this dopamine word game of trolling and shocking. Like, what Brad did on the app today, the past couple days, like, to me, that's, I think it's extremely questionable. And but the way it impacts people and the Munchausen syndrome that it creates with people is also impressive to watch, because I think from like an animalistic perspective, when somebody goes on this in crazy psychotic road rage homicidal ideation rant, it's like a silverback in an enclosure with all these female gorillas, and you see how behavior and conditioning influences people. And I'm just saying, live streaming all this stuff and recording all these human interactions to me is almost like a psychological observational study, and I'm learning from it. I hope people who watch videos learn from it, and I want to complement it with books that I have. I would really like to figure out a way, how can I get interested in the thousands of books I have surrounding me, and find the time or the desire to even want to read, because I got to say, human interaction is far more dopamine creating than the hard work of extracting information from reading a book. So Clownhouse is technologically innovating, but also in a way retarding.
Just real quick, Judge Mojo, I would like to call for all the words spoke about my client Brad to be struck from the record, please, as he's not present at the moment.
Yeah, John. The only thing is, if it was contributing to the people out here, everybody would take it different. But it's self-serving what you're doing. That's what's turning Roe off. To me, I'm more where Mojo is. It's like, no big deal to me. But it does not rub me that well. It is. It's a self-serving thing, and it's not serving.
Well, all I can say in my defense is, this is a very strange game that I'm personally playing. Okay, to live stream myself 24/7 with with 13 cameras in my face is a very weird prospect for me as a person who's doing this, because I'm really putting myself out there in a way which could be considered unprofessional. However, in my defense, I think being fully transparent, there will be some added benefit in the now, whatever that means.
For who?
I think in a way I can do some type of a therapeutic service for people who come on here and do homicidal ideation, terrorism planning, and maybe even sex trafficking coordination. Maybe by putting a light on people or exposing people or threatening people with exposure will cause them to somehow question what they're doing and modify what they're doing. I don't know. It's a very complicated word game.
It's just gonna piss them off. That's all it's gonna do.
I'm going to go back to Ron's, thesis on surreptitious recording. It's a problem, and you've made it your problem.
Well, I've been accused. Well, people say that it's illicit recording. It's not illicit. It's explicit. And I try to be a gentleman, and I record a lot of profane people who do a lot of vulgarity, insane hate speech, racism. I mean, people like Pepe and other people who may cozy up to people, and now they're considered part of the clique because they talk to us. I have people saying really foul-mouthed stuff to the point where, if there was an index of what everybody has said throughout all my recordings and you were to just hit the top 10, people would say, holy shit. Because they have said things that are so vulgar, so profane, so obnoxious, that when you look at all the little snippets and you listen to what somebody's actually saying, you question their sanity, you question their motives, their intentions, their personality, their character. It's a lot of data on a lot of people. So that's why I say, if you come from a good place in your heart and you're communicating peace on this app, well then, you know what? Maybe you're a good person and you're in the clear.
I think it's really cute. I think it's really all lines here, what you see from the person who chooses to be able to record the stream without consent. It just sort of shows red flag, just the bullshit factor is through the roof.
It's not like I created some app or something. I'm just using YouTube to live stream myself, It's just recordings. I don't know why it's a big deal.
I'm actually really curious as to how you would choose to be able to psychoanalyze yourself, a person who spends literally years, not hours, but years, with multiple, like tens of mobile phones recording other people.
Oh yeah,
How would you
50,
cycle
60
that?
cell phones I have here in my home office. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's more than weird. It's disturbing. But how would you?
You could. I think I could call it.
I have about it. Okay, but I'm curious.
I could call it a form of OCD. I could call it
If you
OCD.
look objectively, right? Look objectively at your behaviour. How would you psychoanalyze yourself? Considering you're spending a lot of time invested in psychoanalysis.
That's asking too much, bro. He's not.
Yeah,
No, it's all on video. It's all on that info part. If you want a great explanation, the best explanation is to watch the YouTube channels. Go to the YouTube channels for hours a day and just sit there and watch it, and that's the answer. Wow, I can't believe you recorded all this stuff. It's amazing. Holy cow. Who's crazier, the person recording the crazy people or all the crazy people in the recordings?
How would you psychoanalyze a person objectively who spends years of their life, right?
Well, I can very easily look at it subjectively, not just objectively.
John, I get it. Just hang on, John. Just chill out for a second. A person who sits in their room literally 24/7, in his underpants doing yoga and streaming himself whilst recording other people without consent on tens of devices. How would you psychoanalyze and profile that particular type of person? Go for it, John. Mike's yours.
Okay, so the way I think I can look at it is by self-deprecating myself and unfortunately submitting myself to play the fool.
Try being objective about it, please.
I am trying to answer your question genuinely. I put myself at a professional risk to record myself recording other people. So selflessness, kindness goes both ways. If you think I'm a selfless prick or an egocentric, narcissist, toxic, malignant person, you can't make that determination. That's an all or nothing position. As Mojo has stated in my defense, I have made recordings that are so devastating to some of these people because it is against the law what they're saying. So I have put myself at risk as a former military intelligence officer to bring light to a toxic problem on this app.
I ask you a direct question. I'd really appreciate it if you can give me a direct answer instead of just bullshitting off. Like, go for it.
Okay, why don't you just repeat the question again? Because if you're just going to mute me in the middle of a thought stream, you're not going to get the full thought. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm helping you to continue on track, John. That's all I'm doing. Ask you a specific question. How would you psychoanalyze a person who spends literally years recording themselves in their underpants, doing yoga, streaming other people without the consent? How would you psychoanalyze a person?
Okay, so I can respond. I can respond.
That's the question.
Okay. So I think there's two ways to look at this. If you look at the total body of work that I have submitted to the internet, aka YouTube and Instagram, it's 20,000 YouTube videos, 20,000 Instagram videos. In those videos, I have spent a lot of time doing subjective and objective uploading into YouTube. I've read a lot of books, and it's not just recordings of Clown House and people speaking here. There's a lot of creation and artwork that I've done in.
I'm not questioning what knowledge you have, and you are duck shoving again. That's the reason why I've paused you and muted you. You're not answering the question. How would you, considering that you are good at psychoanalyzing other people, how would you profile a person psychologically who displays these particular traits?
Bro, let him get it all out.
Yeah, okay. Let me explain it this way. By doing this work, I have done like a self-actualization technique on myself. But prior to this, at the Citadel, which is a very intense military academy, every freshman has to go through an intense indoctrination process. You essentially become a mute. There's only 3 responses: sir, yes, sir, no, sir, and sir, no, excuse. So we can continue this line of questioning, or if you want, I can just resort to the 3 default cadet responses, and we can just move this conversation right along. And if you're interested in contributing $10 to the campaign to elect John Kitover, click that link above right now. If you're enjoying this testy little debate between Rohan and I, and you find it entertaining, Well, consider contributing $10 right now to the campaign to elect Kitover, the 16th district in Illinois. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is just entertainment. No one's going to fly to Australia. Nobody's going to fly to Chicago. We're not going to have some kind of old Australian 1930s fight and oil up our mustaches. No. This is just a friendly conversation on a social audio chat app called Road Rage Clownhouse, where people get angry over things from the past, from other rooms. And the rule of this room is be in and out. No bringing in drama from other rooms. So technically, Rohan, please read the rules and reconfigure your line of questioning to come in alignment and compliance with the rules. Thank you very much, Rohan.
You make me laugh. You really do.
Wrong. I'm not sure that John understands the surreptitious nature of what he's doing and how that has a chilling effect on other people. That's one thing, and I'm not sure he cares about that.
I think he does, but I don't see
Then he doesn't care. But
Hang
the
on,
other,
let Chuck go.
the other thing is the lawfulness of what he's doing and the commercialization. That is a problem, and you are at risk for that. No matter who you are covering, the most vile people in the world, it doesn't matter, because at the same time you're ensnaring people who are just here to talk, and they don't want their stuff streamed, and they did not give you permission to do it, and that's a problem for you.
No, in my defense, I would say I'm being social, I'm being political, and any kind of commercialization in the future on YouTube is in the future. But right now, there is no commercialization of the content that I film or create out of this app.
Well, the fact that you're putting it on YouTube is commercialization, whether you get paid for it or not.
Yeah, if you're putting at risk, something like this could happen too.
Sure you are. It doesn't mean you're not being violated. It doesn't mean you've given permission for someone else to use your content that comes under copyright.
Howard, the key is consent, is exactly what Joe is alluding to. It's one thing to consent to be able to have your information to be utilised by the company that you're utilising, for that matter, the terms and conditions, which may also include third-party companies as well. That's perfectly fine. People are being streamed, recorded without their knowledge or consent. And commercialisation that John's talking about, he's already said in other rooms that he if given the opportunity, he would plan to and does plan to be able to commercialise it if there is that opportunity that presents itself. There you go.
Yeah, I did the work. It's called doing work. It's a job. You know how much work I've invested in recording people on this app? I gave up my whole life to start recording this app. It's my work. It's my creation. It's my monetization. It's called capitalism, you communist Australian traitor. Traitor.
Triggered. Terrible. You might be doing what you call work, but the work that you are doing involves other people's ideas, thoughts, and their voice as well. That constitutes a breach. Wouldn't you say?
Well, you're in the muff. There's always a little breach in the muff. You gotta have a breach in the muff. You need moisture, first of all. Then you can get a breach in the muff. If you get a breach in the muff and you find a way in and you go straight to the center, well, that's how you get compensated for your artistic endeavor. And you get a critic ultimately at the end. But nonetheless, a critic is...
You're breaking one of the rules. When a moderator's speaking, that's your cue to be able to go on mute for a second, because I just wanted to welcome Anne.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful to have you here. How are you
Nice
doing?
to hear your voice, sir.
Excellent, thank you. Do you give your consent to be recorded or streamed to any other third parties?
I mean, technically, when we are on Clubhouse, they're recording all of our voices, and they can use it to edit, publish, analyze, and send it to all their stockholders. So, I mean, our shit's already out there, so I don't give.
Or lawyers or law firms, they'll give up all the data, no problem.
John, wait
I have to assume that by just being on the app, that they're doing it. So, like, and God knows who their stockholders are. So do I care if my fellow Americans are recording me? No.
It's fine. Okay, I just wanted to let you know. So, John Kitover, here it is. You're streaming this conversation, your voice, ideas and thoughts and feelings, for that matter, over to another service, which is YouTube and possibly even other platforms as well.
Yeah,
where,
X and Clubhouse as
lots
well.
of ideas. Wow, geez, John, I don't know.
X and Clubhouse, everybody. Follow me on X and follow my other Clubhouse accounts.
Right. Oh, so sorry. Oops. John, I'll bring you back up.
Very funny. Very funny.
That's very funny. I know he's great. He's great joke to laugh at, and it's fantastic. So I just wanted to let you know, and that's what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, Mojo explained everything. It's very simple, and he doesn't care, bro. I know.
I know.
Try to get him to see a blind spot. He does not care.
We're gonna have a debate. We got Darren LaHood on stage, or at least a representative.
Oh no, it's Dr. Adams. I'm just, I'm just supporting Darren LaHood. You know, I'm with the LaHood crew, so I'm definitely supporting Darren LaHood. Brad and I were actually, we were talking. We were thinking about going half on $1,000 a month apartment just to have an address out there.
To vote. Okay, just to vote for LaHood in his own district. Okay, because we believe in LaHood's vision. Okay, we believe that LaHood is good for the hood.
I'm gonna restart this live. Hope you're enjoying it.
That was pretty funny. Just because you've given explicit consent to Clubhouse does not mean, and you have no expectation of privacy, does not mean somebody else can use your content any way they want. They can't do that.
I mean, all legalities aside, just one word, John. One word. Why?
I mean, if I was in, the 16th district,
Yeah, it's spelled A-R-T, art, A-R-T.
to Congress to remove people's autonomy and their privacy rights. Okay, to be listening and recording people probably on their cell phones. I mean, why would you trust somebody that has violated your perceived sense of privacy?
A-R-T, art, art, A-R-T, art, art, A-R-T.
Thank you. So at the end of the day, LaHood is going to win, okay? As a matter of fact, the last time that he ran, more people voted for him than anybody else in his district. So at the end of the day, LaHood